on the stage with one of the greatest megastars, and now you're sitting there next to a 24-year-old anti-Semitic racist dude at a hibachi grill with your waiter wearing pointed boots.
NANI?
Dynamite! 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 Dynamite!
I don't know. A lot of this stuff is new, but a lot of stuff is old. I didn't keep up with much of the news. Much of the news was sort of like, y'all already know. Wild shit's going on everywhere, right? So let's talk about the one of my favorite things, a new segment. I even have a separate playlist for this now because Kanye West's name just shows up too much in my algorithm. I call this the downfall of Kanye West, formerly now known as Ye. But Kanye West has found himself continuing to fall down this toxic pipeline where, for some reason, he thinks because he's black, he can discriminate against another group of people and then claim that he's doing it all under the will of God. And this is why religion doesn't stick for me, because when weird people like this start talking, they actually start to garner a cult following. And Kanye West started this, and he quickly got decimated, whether it's from a financial aspect, a platform aspect, his career. He's never who's ever going to let him go on tour at one of their stadiums? Who's ever going to let him be featured on one of their songs again? Kanye West has made it extremely difficult for him to dig himself out of this hole. And this is why I call this section the downfall. Because I don't think there's any way of him returning. But I just want to document it. So when the time comes for us to look at this critically, we can all say together collectively, nah, fuck him, right? Clap it. Drop a bomb. Fuck him. Go forth and dig your grave. Because you built this, we might have built this tomb together, but you will fill it alone. Right? Kanye has been ordered to pay $240K a month in child support to Kim. Someone said that's almost $2.4 billion annually. Yo, that's wild. That's wild. That is so wild. It's crazy because you just know he's one mistake away. But Kanye West did have a decent Thanksgiving, if it's to be believed. Kanye's Thanksgiving feast with Trump, Milo, and Nick Fuentes. Now, if some of these names look weird to you, don't stress. We all know who the Orange Oompa Loompa is. But Milo is a certified, not conservative, but fascist, right? Certified fascist groomer of children. He is on record saying he finds nothing wrong with pedophilia. He thinks children who know what their sexual drive is like should be allowed to experience that. He's said that on record. Nick Fuentes is a 24-year-old Hispanic gay man who says conversion therapy saved his life, and now he is a straight-up fascist who's a 24-year-old Mexican. It's just, and when you look at him, you see think of the most cliche racist dad from a 90s sitcom. That's what you see. But Kanye West has found comfort in people who actually despise him. Because there's no way Kanye would ever let Milo around his children, and there's no way Kanye actually thinks Nick Fuentes, a 24-year-old racist fascist, is a cool running mate. And we're going to talk about how Kanye West has become touchable. And that's when you know your downfall is truly started. Let's begin. While you were carving turkey with your family last night, Kanye West was on Twitter unveiling his 2024 master plan. Thanksgiving night, the rapper posted a video titled Mar-A-Lago Debrief, in which he said Donald Trump was really impressed with Nick Fuentes. Now, Donald Trump stays at Mar-A-Lago, and this states a lot of questions because remember, not too long ago, literally a month ago, there was literally a question of security at Mar-A-Lago as top secret documents were recovered from there in insecure places. So to know that a rampant fascist could walk into Mar-a-Lago, into the deepest chambers, and someone the president doesn't know get that close to him is crazy. It's mind-boggling. But what ended up happening was Kanye West revealed that he's going to be running for president in 2024, and he wants Trump to be his running mate. And the clash of egos that took place in that room, I just wanted to be a fly on the fucking wall. In fact, I would have just wanted to be a fax machine, because you know Donald Trump's the type of motherfucker that says, "Can we fax this? Can we fax this? Well, I don't want to email. I don't like the. Let's fax it." You know he was just a motherfucker out here saying he wanted to fax some shit. And he told Donald Trump, like, "Yo, I want you to be my running mate." Not even acknowledging that Donald Trump has already won once. So what the fuck are you going to do for him? Furthermore, this clearly upset Trump to the extent where he was insulting Kanye's wife based on Kanye West's description. It's really weird sometimes because Kanye West will sometimes stand up for Kim, but then other times he'll be the one literally insulting her. It's like he doesn't want anyone to have anything to do with her. And if for all you that think that he wouldn't have gone up and slapped Chris Rock if he was in Will Smith's shoes, you're dead wrong. I wanted to see Trump's face when he said that. Probably laughed in his face. Yo, you know Trump took it serious though. Trump had to have taken that shit serious. He had to have been upset. He had been like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You want me to be a second place to a black man? I mean, a rapper. I mean, a fascist, anti-Semitic. No, I mean, you know he just started laughing away. But people would still face their votes. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. But the thing that really won Trump over was the Nick Fuentes character, who openly said he enjoys Trump at his earnest and off the cuff. When Trump has to read from teleprompters, he feels like he's not being genuine and authentic and tells Trump that's why he lost. And based on conversations that took place within that dining hall, Trump admired the young 24-year-old Nick Fuentes for recognizing that in Trump. Now, keep in mind, it is established. It's not like it's up for debate. He literally runs a podcast, and there's literally clips of him on the internet saying openly, "Hey, I think white people should run things. I think women shouldn't have a right to vote. I think you should remove contraceptive, and women should just be forced to have kids and not be in the workforce." He's a fascist bigot through and through. And for Trump to come out and say after the dinner broke, "Oh, I didn't know who he was," and not be able to say, "And I also condemn what he stands for," is weird, because the Republican Party, the unfringed part of it, was able to say that. From Michael McCarthy to the fucking racist turtle himself, all the way down to Mike Pence, who took 6 months for him to say, "Hey, Trump, you sending that mob of angry people to come lynch me? That was wrong." It took Mike Pence 6 months to do that. But Mike Pence came out next day later and was like, "Yo, fascist, no go. No go." What up? What up, Kenny? Clap it up. What up, baby? So we got we have the you would think, okay, you did that shit, that's dumb. Let's not let this get out of hand, right? No. Because even with this dramatic fall from grace, Kanye West wants to continue to see who will let him spew his hate. And something that just needs to be said. Why is Kanye West going on these other people's podcasts? Why doesn't he just make his own and say whatever the fuck he wants? Like, why does he feel the need to go to these other places and have these debates? He's Kanye West. He could do it on Twitter. Twitter has a live feed function. He'll definitely get thrown off of like YouTube and Facebook, but he could do this on Twitter. His homeboy Elon Musk runs that shit. They just need to take the mic from him. But as long as he's willing to keep picking that shit up, I hope he chokes on that shit. Because I want you to remember, his words have consequences. And there's a group of hotep black men and women who honestly believe what Kanye West is doing is right. He mentioned Kyrie's name in this story, and collectively everyone put their hands up and said, "See? You see, Kyrie? This is why when you post shit like that on your platform, it's problematic, because then a psychopath will attribute his actions to you, and now you got to hold that." So for everyone that was saying, "Oh, they're making Kyrie do too much," Kanye West literally said, I feel bad for my brother Kyrie, and I think he should have been allowed to do what he does." And immediately everyone was like, "Oh, shit. That's why we don't let people just say whatever the fuck they want. That's why we don't let people just post not without context, ambiguous posts about anti-Semitic, Holocaust denying bullshit. That's why we don't let that shit happen, Kyrie." And it's kind of hard to believe you didn't see that coming with that third eye of yours. Baffling. Yee, tell me something interesting.
Just got to go right to the heart of this anti-Semite claim that's happening. This is something, if you read the definition, it says you can't claim that there's multiple people inside of banks or in media that are all Jewish, or you're anti-Semitic. And that's the truth. Like,
Kanye West believes because he has only seen one thing, it has to be true. This is the equivalent of I've never seen a humpback whale in person. But I think the pictures, the video footage, and the story about Pinocchio is more than enough for me to believe that those motherfuckers are real. I have to believe those motherfuckers are real. This like Kanye West doesn't even understand that what he's saying is a white supremacist talking point. The police have never pulled me out of my car and brutalized me. So I don't believe that someone put a knee on a black man's neck for 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Sorry, 46.
it's the truth. What are we talking about? And
elaborate. What do you mean? You mean?
I'm saying, like, I've been labeled anti-Semite, right? So there's different beliefs about our bloodlines, you know, like the document.
Kanye West has never left the country to go experience his bloodlines. Kanye West he's never pulled an Akon. He's never gone to Africa. He's never gone there to explore his bloodlines. It'd be the same Israelite motherfuckers saying they from Israel. They're from Israel. You only go to vacation to the South Americas. And when you go to South America, you don't stay amongst the people. Where's that saying? Do I have that saying? Oh, you guys are in trouble if I have that saying. Oh, y'all motherfuckers lucky. I'm going to make that saying. The people. It's only when they don't go and stay amongst the people. They go and stay at the resort, Sandals. They don't even stay at a good one. Cheap ass.
Documentary that Kyrie posted, and in general, America,
did you hear that?
About our bloodlines, you know, like the documentary that Kyrie posted. And
You see Kyrie? Look at what you've done to yourself. Now this maniac is using your fucking name.
And in general, America has been left ignorant and history has been changed. So when we start questioning things that question the indoctrination, then you immediately get, you said debanked or...
He's so lost. So lost.
What did you say happened to you? Or
demonetized, deplatformed.
Demonized, demonetized. And what's so beautiful about this time is everyone got to see what's really been happening. And now we can really understand. We can see that Ron Emanuel was right next to Obama, and then Jared Kushner was right next to Trump.
But so we're getting right into it, I guess, right? I was hoping to go for the news first before we got into all of this stuff. I think the issue is one way to put it is you're expounding upon.
And I'm assuming the catch here is that Rahm Emanuel and Jared Kushner are both Jewish. So he's saying basically everywhere you go, everywhere you've been, there's a Jewish person like behind every good man, there's a Jewish person. Like, that's what he's implying. It's so weird to hear him like be coy around this. Like, if you're gonna be a bigot, be a bigot.
A localization issue that you've witnessed, right? Let me clarify. There are a handful of people that you see are Jewish in a certain place, and then you associate Judaism with the power, whereas I view that as not relevant to it. Like, yeah, you're substantially more powerful than I am, but I don't view what you're doing as an issue of black people.
Yeah, but have you ever heard the term the black vote? So it's okay to put us in one net, but it's not okay for me to put them in one net.
Yeah, but I mean...
That's the basis of the hypocrisy that people...
No, don't keep your mouth shut, Kenny. Spit your lip.
And realizing for decades, we were all wondering how this dam was going to break. Everybody in the country was wondering, what is the root of this hypocrisy? Why can people talk about white people a certain way? Why can't they talk about that group a certain way? And the wretched and wicked and oppressive prevailing orthodoxy of cancel culture, well, it turned out that the one thing that was going to break the dam was the biggest star in the world. And it took the biggest star in the world to do it.
In other words, everyone now knows for...
The thing that's weird about this is that Tim Pool, the maggot that he is, he didn't have to do this. Tim Pool didn't have to do this. But admittedly, Tim Pool understands he'd much rather have views than responsibility. Because remember, he said in that segment, I don't see a group of people who are inclined to be around a certain type of business to be responsible for all of that business. In referring, just because you see a bunch of Jewish people working in a bank doesn't mean that Jewish people run all the banks. But when that Pulse nightclub shooting took place, he blamed the LGBTQ community for that because they were grooming people. Keep in mind, Milo, that man on his podcast, is a known pedophile sympathizer. It's so weird to see how these double standards keep catching up with people. But let's talk more.
Around
of course, his political opinions were on the exact opposite side of everyone at that table.
Like, okay, so would this be tax evasion? Because I'm obviously not the most financially literate person on the planet. I was just a child.
And this is the problem with Kanye. He doesn't understand that his inadequacies in other places exist in other aspects. Not only is he not good with his money based on the way he's been dealing with himself financially, he's clearly not good with his mental health. But he refuses to get help for any of them. So it's just a matter of time. Like, I'm here to tell you, there's only one way this ends. There's only one way this ends for Kanye. And based on what he's about to tell us, it might be tax evasion.
Child, basically, like when you become famous, you stop growing at that point. I became famous at age 24, and I had handlers around. I had my mom around, different things. And it was always like you go from one handler to the next handler to the next handler. So now I'm having, I get to actually learn how to run a company. I get to learn how to.
Imagine learning how to run a company and immediately you lose your billion-dollar status because you're so bad at it.
To count. Really, I was like Pablo in a movie. It was like I didn't even know where to put the money. Like literally making $300 million cash, but you're just like a high-priced. We're not going to use the S word just because it's just like too passe to use it. But it's like next year I was supposed to make $500 million in royalties, and like no one needs this amount of money. But when I would work on homeless shelters and ideas, I'd have a contractor. We won't say what race, and
he thinks he's so clever. He's a bumbling idiot. But it's funny you mentioned Jay-Z. Let's get to the clip that made him get up. Now, once again, Tim Pool is gutter trash. And this light pushback on Kanye West's belief that Jewish people run everything and therefore Jewish people are responsible for ruining his life. Listen to this exchange and tell me, was that enough to warrant this?
Who was they, though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them, though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it.
That person.
2018.
That person is 24 years old.
About it. Consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone.
Who was they, though?
So, just because Tim Pool didn't want to be as fascist and anti-Semitic as Kanye West was being, he said, and I can't be here. And when your immediate reaction is to get up and leave when the lightest pushbacks happens, it makes you want to say, maybe he shouldn't have been a college dropout. Maybe you should have stayed in school, my guy. Because you would have learned history. And history would have at least taught you what the fuck you're doing is batshit crazy. Yo, Joe, you are funny as hell. Jay-Z cut that relationship for a reason. You're right. And now, and I just want to, and I'm happy you brought it up because I want to express something right now. The circle of friends you keep dictate your livelihood's wealth. I have a lot of wealth in my life. And people think it's because I grind, I have a nice job, I'm fiscally responsible. No, it's because I have better people around me. Everyone I know, that I ask for financial advice, make hundreds of thousands of more dollars than I do. And I make hundreds of thousands of more dollars than the average person. Right? That's what makes me special. People ask me that question all the time. How do you do it? I keep better people around me. And I'm selective about them. I treat those people extremely well. Those people get the most out of me because I understand where my bread is butter. Kanye West had the bread and butter, the jam. Toasted, motherfucker. This was your brother, and he forgave you, and he put you on the map. But now, no. Now you're touchable, Kanye West. That was you getting your first Grammy Award on the stage with one of the greatest megastars, and now you're sitting there next to a 24-year-old anti-Semitic racist dude at a hibachi grill with your waiter wearing pointed boots, a book bag in the front, and just look at you. You're touchable. You are, like, people can, that is not a Bugatti behind you. That is not a security guard. There's no paparazzi around. You are untouchable. And in this moment, as it let it bask in this moment. This picture solidifies that you are wrong in every aspect of the question. Because everything you claim to be fighting for, none of it can be viewed in your picture. This person isn't even a fan. They just want to be able to say they took a picture with you. It's the equivalent of when I think this shit was hilarious. But I was like at an airport or something like that. And there was like a famous like wrestler or something like that walking in the airport. And we were both standing there, and there was a kid who frantically walked up to this. Not even a kid. He had to have been like college age. He had like a neck beard and everything. And he walked up to the superstar, said, "Hey, can I get your autograph?" Asked me to take a picture for them. Took the picture, no problem. And the kid turned around to me and said, "Don't you want a picture too?" And I looked at him and I said, "Oh no, I'm fine, thank you." To the dismay of the wrestler, who was like, "Oh, come on, man, I'm so-and-so." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you paid my bills. I paid for my fucking meal and I got out of line." And it was just the audacity of this asswipe who thought because he was a wrestler on WWE or whatever the fuck the show is now, you're not The Rock. You're not even Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're not even the Nature Boy. Woo! Woo! Randy Savage. What about Randy Savage?
I beg your pardon?
Nobody said life was easy,
Yeah.
so if
I
you get
beg
knocked
your
down,
pardon?
take the standing 8 count, get back up, and fight again. And you're a macho maniac. Dig it.
All my heroes are dead. And if they're alive, they gonna ride. But this right here embodies everything, and it's just a very humbling picture. Your boy, Yeezy, formerly known as Kanye West, aka Ye, with the pointed motherfucking boots. Yeah, I stand this. I'll continue to document the end of his fall, and like I said, there's only one way this ends. But we'll see what happens. Do y'all honestly believe there's salvation for him? Do you think he can ever return from this? Let me know in the comment section below.